he's getting it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Metal Customs. Today we're going to be working on the 2001 Mustang. This is 3.8 automatic car, and I'm going to be showing y'all how I install a rear main seal in the engine. So first things first, come on in here just a little bit closer where y'all see what I'm up to. Yeah, getting the camera adjusted. Negative battery cable. Take it off. You don't have to take the positive off. Just take the ground off, push it out of the way where it's not going to contact anything. And then, I don't know if everybody does this, but I do. I go over here, I pull the transmission dipstick out and set it to the side. The reason I do that is like every time I'm pulling the transmission out, the stick will catch on something. So go ahead and get that problem out of your way and be done with it. As far as under hood goes, that's all I do. Let's go ahead and raise it up, and then I'll get to everything underneath, because that's where all the hard work is. Alright, we're up under the car. So next thing I'm going to do is take out the drive shaft. You see 4 bolts here. But before I do that, I'll grab me a scotch, just got a block of wood, and throw under a wheel so it don't roll away on me. Alright. Drive shaft bolts are a 12mm 12-point socket. And what I like to do, this little breaker bar here is about one of my favorites, so get them broke loose with it. Then I can get in there with my electric ratchet. Well, they were on there good. It's a good thing, I reckon. But yeah, I'll get all 4 of these broken loose, and then get in there with my electric ratchet and get them zapped out. Alright, drive shaft's removed. Bolts just come out, you pop it off, and it slides that away out of the transmission. And guys, what I like to do, I take me a glove and slide over the end of the transmission, because when you're pulling it, you're going to be tilted down, and you might get some fluid running out of it. So this has always worked for me. May want to grab a couple of rubber bands and throw around here for it to be really tight. But yeah, that'll work, and that'll keep your floor cleaner. Alright, so next thing we need to do, get the exhaust out of the way. You can tell I have an H-pipe in my system, so I'm going to have to cut it here and here like I did before. And then I'll just take it loose from the manifolds, and it'll swing over a little bit out of the way. So let's go ahead and get our exhaust out of the way. The exhaust down. Guys, I like to take this side off. That way I can get up in there and get the oxygen sensor for one. For those of you who've worked on these Mustangs, you know you can't unplug them things. You can't reach it. That's why I always unscrew them off the upper side of the cat converter. But yeah, I always cut this, take this one plumb off, and I can get in there to the starter a lot better. there should be 2 bolts in your starter. The 13 millimeters. And oh, by the way, the exhaust bolts were 15 millimeters. But now on mine, I had a 14 millimeter nut right here holding my ground cable on. But these 2 here are 13. So what I'm going to do is get the starter taken off. I'm not going to take the wiring off. I'll take it loose, just cradle it up in here, and let it just sit in here. It's just fine. After that, we're going to start undoing linkages and stuff like that. Alright, starter's out. Sit of in, I'm just going to leave it sitting right in there. It'll be just fine. Now, next thing I'm going to do is torque converter bolts. And let me grab my light so y'all can see this. There is a cover up here I've already removed, as you can tell. And there is a bolt, well, nut. You see the nut there? There's 4 of them. I'm going to go ahead and get them out. And I'll just use me a big bar here to turn the crank to get them around there. They are 14 millimeter, and I'm just going to use, wherever I put it, I'm just going to use my breaker bar and a socket to get them out. But get all 4 of them out. Alright, get all 4 of the torque converter nuts off. So next, what I'm going to do here is start taking a bunch of accessories off. I call it accessories, but they are vitals. So first off, go and get the shifter. It's 13 millimeter. Wow, I would have grabbed a socket or ratchet wrench if I known it was tight all the way out. Well, we've already done the regular wrench thing, so let's just keep on keeping on. Okay. That nut I'll spin back on here. Come back to here. This needs to come off. Little tab right there. It just pops up. Get your little screwdriver. And I got a big one, but any screwdriver will do it. And it will just come outside where it said hole. That's where the tab grabs. And just push it over here out of the way. Plenty enough. Now we have electricals. You get over out of my way. Now you could unhook the main electrical from up top if you wanted to. Me, I can't cram my hand down in there to really get at it. So I prefer to do it this way. So we have got this electrical here on the shift selector. And it's going to be a pain because I'm old and my hands don't want to work right. And the light doesn't want to sit right. Oh, come on. What's wrong with you? Think you're mentally retarded or something. There's a button that you push right there. And it will come off there. There we go. Wanted to make sure I had the button pushed in really well because I didn't want to break anything. Okay, we got electrical there. We got one up here. Actually, guys, I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier to do. I don't know why I didn't do this to begin with. Let's go ahead and get our transmission jack under here and get the cross member out, let the transmission down, and we can get it all of that electrical stuff a whole lot easier. Now I got the transmission jack up. You notice I got 2x4 on each side. It's because that pan's got that big hump in it, and I don't want to just be teetering on that. I want a good hold on that thing. So the first thing I'm going to do, there's some mount bolts right here. They're 16 millimeter. get them out first. And then the 4 bolts holding the cross member in are 13s. I know, big gun's a little overkill, but it's fast and easy. And there we go. Now, oh, let me give you a rubber band for that, because we're finna let that thing down. The fluid may run out. Alright, now that's down some, we can actually get at this stuff. Here's the one we took off of the shift part. Then we have this one right up here. Oh, I forgot how that can come out. Okay, just comes out. Alright, then the harness goes. Okay, that's going up to the motor. And it'll go over on the other side. I think it's just that oxygen sensor. No, there's another big plug here on the back. Hopefully y'all can see that okay. Let me get you where you can see it okay. Alright. Seeing that plug right there. Yeah, that boy. See, the oxygen sensor plug we've done took off, because that was the rear O2. Of course, it's there. So now, just take this harness, you flop it over here, out of the way. And I just take it and flop it over the pipe. Get it down here, yeah, everything's out of the way. That way it ain't gonna hang up on nothing. Hopefully it ain't gonna hang up on nothing. Okay, that's cool. Alright, we got all that, so that's all of our electrical. So we've got starter, drive shaft, all the electrical off of it, mechanical as far as the shifter goes, and we got the torque converter. So the only thing we're lacking is the bolts around the bell housing and the transmission lines. Yep, we've got to take the transmission lines off. This is the part that gets messy. Yeah, this is the part that I just don't like. Bring y'all in here a little bit closer if I can. I want to get transmission fluid stuff all over the camera. But the lines, you see they run right into here. 1, 2, right on top of each other. And I'm going to grab a proper line wrench. Let's go see what size they are with a regular wrench. 13's pretty floppy. Let me grab a 12. Alright, I got a 12 line wrench. Oh, not wanting to work. Man, that 13 just felt really sloppy on there. Oh, hold on a minute. Get a 1/2 inch. Half inch fits perfect, guys. Alright, so I'm going to move the camera away. I don't want to get transmission fluid all over the place. But the next step is we'll take these lines off. I've got these pads here that soak up stuff. So I'm going to try to have this thing right down here where it catch it. And I don't make too much of a mess on the floor. But hey, pull-in transmission, you might make a mess somewhere. But let me get the lines off. Then we'll go to the bell housing bolts. Alright, transmission lines are done. Y'all saying I use a 1/2 inch wrench on that. Of course, proper wrench. But you use a 19mm right up against the transmission. If not, then will spin out also, and you don't want that. So a 19.5-inch line wrench gets your transmission lines off. Now, I went ahead and grabbed the strap. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these come with the little things that come out here and blah, 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 blah. The whole transmission on, that stuff's been gone a long time ago. But, you know, ratchet strap hard to beat. Oh, wait a minute. That won't go nowhere. There we go, now to never move. Now, we're ready to pull the transmission out. And so we take all the torque converter bolts out. We've taken everything else apart. So now it's just time for the actual bolts holding the transmission in around the bell housing. Now guys, there's one in front here. One in front here. It's supposed to be one in front here, but it's gone. And on this one, I don't think there's another one in front. But look really close on yours. I mean, it should be the same thing if you're working on a similar car. But if you're working on something else, the bolt configuration is going to be a little different. So just take your time and look and make sure you get all the bolts out. The rest of the bolts will be coming in from back here and going up. They're like here and all around the top. Matter of fact, I can show you exactly. I forgot I had this motor sitting over here because I'm not going to bore you with leaving the camera on while I take out all them bolts. As you can see, there's one, two, three, 4, 5, 6 coming through this way. Then your one's coming through this way. So yeah, and that is that. Alright, well I'm going to crank my music back up and go ahead and take them out. Once I get all of them loose, I'll show you how to wiggle that out. And the boring part about this is, be careful when you're wiggling it out because the torque converter's got to stay in your transmission. It's got studs on it, as you can tell, because we took nuts off of it, and it can hang up in that flywheel and you know, mess your day up, that's for sure. So let's be careful when we wiggle out. But let me get all the bolts out first. Alright, I've got all the bolts out. So now what we're going to do is try to easily walk this off the motor. There's nothing wrong with using a screwdriver. And also I took his plug out here. That way I can make sure the torque converter is coming out as well. And it is. That side came loose. Okay, that side came loose. See, the torque converter's trying to hang up on us. That's what I was saying. Watch that super, super close. What I'm going to do is hold my screwdriver here. You see how I done that? Now the torque converter has slid back far enough to where it's off the flywheel, I do believe. Get some tilt to this thing, it's front heavy, man. There we go. Alright, before we go just yanking it out of there, look in here. I'm so sure, yeah, there's your torque converter. And watch these wires and your transmission lines and your dipstick. as you're pulling it out, because everything's going to be in the way and everything's going to try to be a pain. Alright, that's about as far as I can pull it backwards. Now, let me see if I can come down some. Close look. You guys, I leave that bolt, the one that holds the dipstick tube on, I leave it in there. That way it's not going to, hopefully you won't snatch the dipstick tube out. There we go. Definitely hanging up on something. See if she'll come down some more. So far so good. See if I can pull her back some. Alright, coming down. Yeah, just one look. I think everything's coming just fine. Yeah, it's all looking good. Can't come back anymore. Dipstick's still hitting the firewall. Alright, dipstick's not hitting the firewall no more. Get this thing leveled out here. Alright, see, she'll come on down. Yep, she's coming on down like she's supposed to. Alright, now we'll roll this over here out of our way. So watch dipstick tube. Alright, we're doing pretty good on that. Now, look right up here. Where'd that light go? Dog ate it, I reckon. Right. If my dog was out here, she probably would eat it. If y'all have not seen videos of my dog Mia, well then you definitely need to. She is awesome. Alright, everything's looking pretty cool, ain't it? And now, next thing we need to do, move that camera where I ain't gonna trip over it, and that y'all can still see good. There we go. Yeah, that's in the way. Now, we need to take our flying wheel off. See the oil right around here? Yep, we know why. 19. Alright, where'd that big boy go? Here it is. There's light will be my way. Now when these go back in, they do get Loctite on them. I use the blue, I think. I'll probably use whatever I have in stock. This is your, I always call them a flywheel, but technically I think it's a flex plate. Don't let it fall on your foot. Alright, one flexion plate. Remember that it only goes back on one way, guys. Then this spacer plate here. It only goes on one way as well. And finally, 3.5 years later, we're at the rear main seal, which you can see is leaking. Well, that SOB. Get rag, wipe it off. This is one of the things, it's sort of hard to diagnose in a way, because you don't know if it's rear main seal or this back lip on the oil pan. Which the oil pan is just silicone all the way around. You can get a lip here, but I wouldn't spend the money personally. Just use a nice fat bead of silicone and it will be just fine. Now I put this rear main seal in here, and I'm just thinking I got a bad seal. So that's why I ordered another one. But yeah, there's what we got, guys. Get this over here out of the way. I'll get a little bit better view. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to snatch that one out, and we'll put another one in. Alright guys, let's get this one out of here. I have a seal puller, but if you don't have one, use your screwdriver, whatever it takes to get it out. It really doesn't matter. Just as long as you get it out, right? Right. Sometimes this thing ain't the best. I think a lot of times I would be better off fooling with my screwdriver. There we go. Like I say, I don't know what's wrong with that seal, but it wasn't sealing. Where'd the rag go? Rag in there and clean it out really well. Make sure there ain't no trash in there, anything like that. And I'm going to get the oil out. I'm actually going to put a little sealer in. You don't have to, But seeing as this is the second time I had to go in to this, like I say, I think I might have just got a bad seal. But being a little bit extra cautious, nothing wrong with it. Alright, hopefully y'all see what I'm doing okay. And the silicone, new seal. What I'm going to do with the new seal is give me some, I got a can of a transmission fluid here. You can use oil, a little grease, whatever you want to. Go ahead and lube that up. Get that lip nice and lubed up. See how much you can get on the floor and how much of a mess you can make too. That's seems to be my goal in this process. All right. Now I keep losing that dang rag. Here we go. Wiping off all the oil off of the outside. And like I say, guys, this is one of the things you really don't have to do it. I just want to do it to be 100%. And what I'm going to do is just put me a little bead of silicone. Well, not a bead, a smear. All the way around this critter. And put the top back on the silicone. That way you can use it next time. And there we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get this critter placed up in there. It will pop onto the crankshaft first. That's why I say grease up that seal really well. Oh, get on there. Try to get it on there just as square as you can too. That's a trick. There we go. What happened, I seen the seal trying to roll out a little bit, that lip. That's why I took it back out and put it right back in. Alright, now, we gotta get that thing banged up on there. And I do not have anything that big around in order to do it. So let's just, we'll use our old seal. It's just a little warped. Give me something a little better than just this hammer head, so I can hit that with a little bit more squareness. Oh, like this. Now let me get something a little bit better. Yeah, I'll just look around, you can find something. Here. It's nice and smooth. There is one rear main seal installed. Yeah, man. And that should do that. Now, we get to put it back together. Alright guys, pick up where we left off. Yeah, I've slept since a second ago. Got the rear main seal in. Make it flush right here. Alright, so off camera, what I've done, I went ahead and cleaned all this up, got all the oil and stuff off of it. Same with the flex plate and the spacer. So now it's time to reassemble. And I'm going to video all this too. I know a lot of videos I watch, they show how to take something apart but not put it back together. And I'm not much on that, so let's put this back together. Alright, reassembly. We have our spacer plate, or whatever you call it, that's what I call it. And you'll know how it goes on there. You see them, two little studs right there. And that's a spacer plate. Voila! Now we got a flying wheel. Or flex plate, whatever you want to call it. Trying to get this bottle open here. Alright, I got some Loctites, blue. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my bolts done. And my top's broke, so what I do, I just stick it in there and do like that right there. Yeah, that gets plenty. So, let me get all of them done right quick. Four and five. Alright. Got good Loctite on all five of them. Get a lid on there good. This stuff ain't cheap. Now we'll grab our flex plate. If you'll notice, it only goes on one way. See how it's made? This protruded side goes towards the engine. Another way you can tell, you see the mark where the bolts have been. So don't try to put it on backwards, it just won't fit. Go ahead and get it held up there. Get it on there and start spinning it around. The bolt pattern is offset on these. As you can see, it only line up one way. And I think, nope, that wasn't it. That's not it. That's not it. I know, sometimes it can just drive you crazy. I think that's it. Get all your bolts started. Really well by hand. You don't want to cross thread nothing. This is one of them, take your time, do it right first time, and don't be fiddle farting with it. Nobody likes fiddle farting. Ah, there's two of them there. And the three. 4. 5, and we're missing one. I don't think I know where it is. Yep. I didn't take it out of the socket. Well, let's get us some Loctiter on that one too. And number 6. Yes, all of them are started good. Now here's where some people will argue with me. X amount of torque, get a torque wrench and all that. And if you want to, that's just fine. I got my torque wrench right here. outstanding. And like I say, guys, if y'all want to go ahead and look it up and get the specs and do all that stuff, I mean, that's fine. It's your vehicle, it's your call, you do it the way you want to do it. But for me, I've never had no problem doing it this way. Whether it's just a little V6 or it's a V8 with some horsepower to it. Take the gun, of course I ain't always had that electric. I've had good air guns. Zap them on there and no problem. Now, you get to have all this fun of putting this transmission back up here. Yes, let's get that pulled over and set up and get it done. The important thing is we're putting the transmission up on the engine. We got to watch the torque converter studs, that they come through at the same time. If you try to force it and then pop them in there, you will break the front pump on that transmission. I ain't lying, because back in the day I done it. That's how I learned. Yeah, it's one of them. Ask me how I know. I know. So let me roll the transmission up in here and let's get ready to reinstall it. Alright, I got the transmission jacked up just about in place. When you're jacking it up in there, watch your transmission lines that will try to hang on that round part of your bell housing where the starter goes, and watch your dipstick tube. Feed it up through there. It can get hung on the head and hold you off. But I think I'm pretty dang close to where I need to be. We get it straight. Now we got to do the light thing. Get up here and look, see how close we are. Okay, need to come up some more. Let's leave that hanging up there. What I'm doing, guys, I'm looking through these holes here at the bolt, trying to get it lined up. Looks like I got it going on pretty good. Hold on a minute. Just the way I was taught, I always like to use some line-up pins. No matter what you got, except for that one that's crooked. Let me get a straighter one. These out here you can go through, like the bottom. That's telling me that that one's just shaved off. Let me get a straight one. Well, I can't find the straight one. It's alright. I need to get a shorter one. And you don't have to have pins or anything like this. You can do just a screwdriver will work just fine. Without keeping y'all here for 3 hours, what I'm going to do is just keep on doing what I'm doing. Just go slow and easy in, watching them studs on that torque converter. Make sure they're going in the flex plate as the transmission is going on. Once you get it all clicked into place, then run you some bell housing bolts. I pretty much got her up in there. But I'm going to show you what I was talking about. As you can see, we're not quite together up through there. But as I was pushing that very easily, you see that stud from that torque converter coming through right up there. That's what you want to see. Now, I can start putting me some bolts in it and drawing it all together and get that bell housing tightened back up. Alright guys, get all of the bolts in the bell housing and get them all tightened up, except for that one. I'm going to go back and do a recheck on them apparently. But after you get all these bolts tightened up and recheck them, then you can come up in here and get your all 4 of the nuts on the torque converter. Do it the same way as I took it out. I put one on, tighten it up, crank the engine over with the big bar I got, and then get all 4 of them installed. And there again, if you want to look up a torque spec, go ahead. I just do the grunt tighten on it, and I've never had an issue. Alright guys, got all of them tight. So now I've got this little cover here, and it just snaps in here some way. Wasn't paying no lot of attention when I took it out. There we go. Maybe no. There's a little tab right up here. Need to go in first, I would assume. Where are you at? Well, there we go. Now it's classified as, that's just really aggravating. Okay, it's just a little tab. I don't see a hole up there nowhere. I don't think it goes on this way. Maybe it does, because there's a hole here. Let's try it this way. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Then of course, we've got this plug here. Like I said, I cleaned both of these really well before I installed them. It'll take 2 hands to install that. There we go. Alright, plug's installed. Now, next. Alright, we got all that accomplished. So, now what I'm going to do is get my strap out of the way. There's no danger of the transmission falling off the transmission jack at this time. Push that over there. Alright, the reason I've done that, I want to get all this electrical hooked up. That way I can take the transmission and go ahead and push it up, put in the cross member, then we'll get the starter and the transmission lines. So let's grab our harness. Remember, we crammed it way over here, so it'll be out of the way. There's our shift linkage too. Okay, remember this white and this purple, they go over the top. Here they are. Long, and the white one goes here. It helps if you get light. Sorry, I'm probably riding y'all's way, but the white one goes there. Remember, the purple is for this rear oxygen sensor. Then we'll come up on this side over here. I know it's hard to get a camera angle, guy. Okay, we're going to come in here to the speed sensor, plug it up. The clip is broke, that's why you see a plastic tie on here. I've got it plastic tied to hold it. Okay, then the shifter, selector, and all that business, whatever's going on there. That big plug. We have, well, we can go ahead and plug up that oxygen sensor right there. It'll be easy while it's right here in our face. This is the rear O2. Remember guys, these things only plug up one way, so don't go to freaking out and stuff and think, oh, I'm going to mess it up or something like that. No, you can't mess it up. I can actually go ahead and screw this one in. This catalytic converter. Alright, where'd that wrench go? Oh, come on, you gotta be right here. Found it. But don't tighten it right now. I won't tighten it, and I'll be tightening that odd exhaust leak. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, okay. Exhaust is barely hanging on that stud right there. I just pulled it off. There we go. And it'll probably pop off when I pick everything up. I think that's it. I think it's all the electrical, ain't it? Yeah, there wasn't a ton on this one. We can get the shifter cable once we get the transmission up. We can go ahead and get our transmission lines on. And yes, I got transmission lines. Now, hopefully that ain't hanging right in y'all's way. Let's go ahead and get this thing up. Cross member. Yeah, we're a bit far away, haven't we? This jack's not going up as high as it did. Well, maybe we can still make it happen. Oh, get in there. That would be a little forceful with it. All right. Hey, Jimmy. Hey. I didn't hear you come in. Yeah, we got Jimmy in here, y'all. Get this tightened up. Let's see if it's tightened up. If not, we're going to have to get some more transmission jack here. As a matter of fact, look into this. Give me just a second. Here, let me get this part behind it. Yeah, that'll do it. I'll let the lift down a little bit. Yeah, that's going. letting it go. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Now we'll get this transmission jack out of the way, guys. Here we go. That'll work. Alright guys, since we got that done, now next step I'm going to do is go up here and put the starter in. Don't forget your ground. The long bolt. Here's my starter. Top bolt is just a bolt. The bottom one is a stud bolt, and after you get the starter on tightened up, your ground wire go in there and then a nut will go on top of that. So let me go ahead and get that knocked out. Alright guys, I got the starter in. Drive shaft is in. All of that's tight. I went back through, rechecked all the electricals where it's supposed to be. Got the shifter cable reinstalled. This side of the exhaust is up and tight. Now I've got to get this side up there. It's a pain to hold that up and get the oxygen sensor screwed in there, but I got to get it done. But that, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. I just got to get the exhaust back up, give me a weld here, weld my little H back then, and then we'll have this one whooped. Alright, got everything buttoned up. Exhaust is all done. Everything's welded. Yeah, I hate that look, but hey, I gotta live with it. You got that up there just fine. Everything should be ready to rock and roll. But yeah, not a terrible, terrible job. Not the easiest, but not the hardest. Make sure that one's plugged up. Yeah, it's plugged up. Alright, I'm going to go through here sort of quickly and do a recheck on everything. And then we'll drop her down. Alright, run back through to the recheck. Everything's hooked up. Don't forget to put your disconnect back in the transmission. Get that thing. We need it someday. Besides that, let's see. Say about the only thing really left to do. Check your oil. Top it off as needed. Where ours is at. Exactly on the full mark, so I'm good. Make sure you recheck yours. Top it off. Guys, besides that, fire it up. Let that smoke dissipate. Touching that exhaust with your greasy hands or your greasy gloves and all that stuff, you're going to get a little smoke here and there. Don't freak out, that is normal. Besides that, just let it run, keep an eye on it, and make sure that you didn't get a bad seal and that you have no more leaks under your vehicle. But yeah, that's got it wrapped up, man. Well, everyone, hope you enjoyed that video. Maybe learned a little something. Like I was saying earlier, I just, you know, this is a job that I had to get done, so I figured I'd make a how-to video on it from start to finish, and hopefully it'll help some people out. Well, if y'all would please throw down some comments. If you're able, hit us up on Patreon and or Super Thanks. And please, please, like, share, and subscribe. Again, appreciate it much. Till next one, we hope that everyone has a fantastic day.